Welcome back to BR Walkoff Live. I am your host, Steve Peralta, and today we are once again joined by one of my favorite people on the planet. Frenchie, you're climbing the favorite humans ranking, man. This has been a big season for you, and I'm very happy every time we get to do this. How you doing, Jeff Francoeur?
I'm good, Steve. Thank you, brother. I see. Are you working a little mustache in for the fall, starting to grow it out?
Yeah, we're doing for our podcast because of Tolley. We're doing the mustache. So Peyton Tolley, the
Love
rookie,
it.
he's got like a real deal stash.
Yeah.
I'm not really a facial hair guy. Like I just have a huge head, so we're gonna figure out how that works. But yeah,
It's
anything
looking
to
good,
make me
man.
look better.
Keep it going.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're slowly getting there. A guy that wasn't able to have facial hair for a long time until this season is Aaron Judge on the New York Yankees. It's been an interesting season for Judge. Still seems like he might be looking at the MVPs, the favorite still over Cal Raleigh. But specifically with playing in the field, is that the right call for Judge and the Yankees right now, considering that he's still not 100%? Do you think they should have him focus on hitting going into the postseason? Where are you at with that whole situation?
This is how I look at it, right? If I'm Aaron Boone and I'm sitting in my office and I'm like, okay, I cannot afford to lose Giancarlo Stanton to a leg injury. We all know he gets hurt a lot. He has had some issues with his hammies and that kind of stuff. So it's like, I think they feel good about putting Stanton out there every once in a while. I think just DHing Judge every day and putting Stanton out there every night, I think that could be tough on him. And so I think, look, we just kind of got done talking to Booney a little bit, and he's like, look, I told Aaron, take it easy out there. Like, if you can't throw a guy out, I get it. We'll take what we can get, but it's definitely an interesting conversation, and I see both sides. I think some people, I hear them saying, well, you don't want to hurt any worse, but I also know the way this Yankees team's playing right now and the way they're rolling, the last thing they want to do is lose Stanton, and with only 2.5 weeks away to the postseason here coming up, you can't really afford that.
What were your thoughts there? I know this was a couple of weeks ago, but just sticking on this topic of Aaron Judge being like, no, I'm going to be able to throw soon, even though Booney was like, that's not going to happen. We're going to keep him as the DH. How often does that kind of stuff happen where you have a disconnect with the manager and the player? Because I can't remember Aaron Judge ever calling anyone out, even if it's at a small measure. Like it seemed like he kind of called Booney out there. But do you get the sense that they're past that and there's no real issue?
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue there. I think at the end of the day, you have a manager trying to protect his player a little bit, and the player saying, I want to be out there. I want to play, right? Like, I'll say this. I know finally later in my career, when I would get a DH here and there, I would do better. But a guy like Aaron Judge, man, he wants to be out in the field. He wants to be part of the action. He wants to be, if you have a bad at bat, you get the ability to go out there and make a good play and let it go. DH is tough, man. It takes a special, I think, mentality sometimes, because really you tell yourself 4 or 5 times a game in a 2.5-hour game, I have about a 2-minute window where I really have an ability to contribute. And outside of that, I'm kind of irrelevant. And so I think a little bit too for Aaron Judge is just wanting to be in there to be a complete ball player, not just a DH.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that gets back to a lot of the Raffy Devers stuff earlier in the season where it's like just focusing on hitting. A lot of fans don't understand. That really takes you out of the game. And mentally, you got to lock in for 4 at-bats, and that's literally it for a 3-hour span. Moving across the country, LA Dodgers, the bullpen, it's been a problem. It's been a real problem for them. It's unfortunate, honestly, if you're a Dodger fan. 2 out of 3 games, they lose a no-hitter in the 9th inning. That is really tough there. I still can't believe the Orioles won that game over the weekend when they're only 2 strikes away from the no-hitter, up 3-0, and the Dodgers find a way to lose. How concerned are you with the Dodgers bullpen right now going into the playoffs? And is that going to hold them back from not even just being able to win the World Series again, from maybe getting to the World Series again?
There's definitely some concern when you think about it and what where they're at. I think we all thought the Dodgers would win 100 games, right? I think we all just thought with what they had, what they added, what they had coming back, like it was a slam dunk the way they got off to that quick start this year. And it just hadn't happened for them. I definitely think that the bullpen is a concern. I think, look, anytime you have Ohtani, Freeman, Betts, Hernandez, Muncy, you know they're going to score. The starting pitching's starting to get healthy for them. I think the toughest thing, right, is I grew up a Braves fan, right? So in the late 90s, the Braves would always be leading divisions by 10, 12 games. And people would be like, oh, they'll get ready to kind of push that button and get going in October. And baseball's not that easy. You can't just push a button. I still, though, I'm like, I got a tough time picking against the Dodgers because of the experience, because of the names. But with that being said, we have seen more and more now during the postseason these great bullpens get exposed. We saw the Guardians last year against the Yankees in the ALCS, this lockdown bullpen all season, just wasn't able to get the outs. And so I think is very much concern. I think you're seeing it from Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is usually very cool. I think you can see he's getting a little frustrated with some of his options and the way certain guys have come in and pitched. But again, we'll see. It's in 3 weeks. We'll see what the Dodgers have. And for all these people that are just talking about, as we do this, I think the Padres are only 1 game behind them. And so It's still like that division is very much up in the air.
Yeah, the Padres could easily win the NL West. I don't think a lot of people would be super. I think actually a lot of people would be surprised by that, but they shouldn't be. You've been watching these teams since the break. The Padres are playing great ball, and you talk about bullpens. That bullpen is shut down. Moving over to the Astros, we're just going all around the country here. Now towards the middle, Framber Valdez. That situation just kind of sucked. It was just really, really bad. There's not a lot of things over the course of 162 that stick out like that did. That was one that I think most people agreed on. What was your thoughts on this situation? Obviously, he calls him off because he probably hit the wrong pitch there on the pitch comm, gives up the homer to Grisham, and all of a sudden now you're going to throw at your catcher intentionally and cross him up. So what are your thoughts there? Because that was pretty brutal.
Well, Steve, we were there. Me, B.A., and Ronnie did that game last Tuesday night at Dyken Park, and I was shocked because, look, you hear things about certain guys, but I'm like, only Framber obviously knows, I think deep down, what he did, if he did it on purpose. But I know this, like, if I had a pitcher purposely do that to a catcher, we would have words in the locker room. There might be some penning up against the locker doing this because you're talking about the health of a guy. What if he put his hand out and it hit him right in the hand and snapped it? Like, you just don't do that to a teammate, man. I don't care how bad things are, how bad he's doing, you're doing, your team's doing. That's just a no-no. And it will be interesting to see. He's a free agent this year. If that little thing right there has scared some teams off. And I know this. I've talked to numerous people around the game. And I think majority, and I mean majority, are on the opinion that, you know what, man, this is going to affect them because there's just not room for that in a clubhouse. I don't care how good you are.
Yeah, that coming up with free agency is brutal. See, I had only seen the clip without the audio. I didn't know you guys were on the call. So calling a game like that, how quickly are you guys like, what the hell was that? Like, that has to jump out immediately, right?
100%. We didn't really know what was going on because Grisham hit the grand slam, right? So we wanted to show the highlight because, I mean, it was a beautiful swing by Grisham. He just struck out Giancarlo Stanton to get 2 outs, and that pretty much put the game away. And then all of a sudden we saw that, and we were like, are we seeing this right? Excuse me. And then you show the wave off, he throws the pitch, and you kind of go through the whole process. And all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, did he just cross his catcher up on purpose? And man, I'm telling you, again, you always want to hear what the player and the catcher have to say after the game before you speculate and you go down this rabbit hole. But again, if that's on purpose, there's no place for that in this game.
I think Volpe's reaction was perfect. He's looking back at both of them like, did you just intentionally cross up your catcher?
Ramon de Jesus behind the plate was kind of like, what in the world just happened? He was very confused.
Yeah. You never want to like assume that. You're not going to be like, yeah, I'm assuming that you're trying to hurt your catcher on purpose, but that's essentially what happened there, which is absolutely insane. I haven't seen something like that in a while. So now producer Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong here. We got, what is the proper etiquette for catching a baseball at a ball game? We might be seeing something for the first time here at the same time here. We got a Phillies fan in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, that's catching a ball here. Is that what we got going on? All right, here we go. Oh, right. Okay. The moment we all saw. There we go. The dad with the kid, and he gets the home run ball, brings it over to his son. And obviously, this is the clip seen around the world. I know Karen gets thrown around, and then people don't want to say it. It's like, well, that kind of perfectly sums up what happened here. What were your thoughts on this situation? Because she probably couldn't have been more in the wrong.
Dude, if I'm at that game, I'm airing her out. You're going to take a ball away from a kid. I don't care what it goes. If I ever caught a ball at a game, whether my kids were there or some other kid, I'm handing it to a kid, right? Like, that's what this sport's about. I always say more than any other sport, the coolest thing about baseball is tonight we can look over this ledge and you'll see kids with their parents here, right? Like, at the game, enjoying baseball. Like that was my childhood, right? I take my kids to games. To see that, man, that was disappointing. And, you deserve to get ripped. Let's call it what it is. Like you deserve to take some heat for that.
The thing with the Valdez situation and this lady, it's hard to be on the other side of the debate.
Like, there's not much of an argument there, Steve. Like that's where common sense takes over, and it's like I don't really know if I even want to hear what you have to say because I saw it.
I was waiting for someone to come in and be like, "No, she had a good point. Like that kid kind of sucks." And
no one defended her.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. But what a moment there. And they all made up for it. Shout out to the Marlins and the Phillies. They give him the gift bag. He then gets to meet Harrison Bader and all that. So at least baseball seems to win as the overarching thing there. But my goodness, that lady stinks. All right, we will close it out with our tiering game, our favorite game here. We're tiering stars with the most pressure during the stretch run. Now, the tiers are going to be weight of the world, can't disappear, and sitting pretty. So obviously some big names we got coming up here and some huge games coming up, not just in September, but October. I got to say real quick, I hate that the playoffs start in September. That pisses me off, but we'll keep that over here and not talk about it. The players on the tier list here, Frenchie, we're starting with Aaron Judge. Where would you put Aaron Judge in terms of how much pressure he's got on his shoulders going into October or September 30th?
Weight of the world, Steve, until this guy wins a World Series, whether he likes it or not, whether probably not deserved, right? Because this guy's carried the team all the time, but he's got the weight of the world. Until he brings a World Series to the New York Yankees, he's going to continue to feel that, fair or unfair.
205 career batting average in the postseason. I just looked it up. That's bad. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the $500 million boy heading into the playoffs. 0-6 in the playoffs is Vladdy in those wild card series. How much pressure does he have?
I really like Toronto's pitching staff. I don't think he's a weight of the world guy, but he can't disappear. That guy's got to play. He's got to hit, and he's got to produce for that team to get where they want to continue to go and even hold off Boston and New York in the AL East. So, again, I think he can't disappear, but he doesn't have the weight of the world, not like Judge.
I'll give them credit. They've been holding off the Sox and Yankees like all year, basically. I feel like it's been that same stretch of games too, between like 2 and 5 games. They've just been, staying on that trajectory to win that division, which has been ages since they've won the AL East. Kyle Tucker, tough year for Kyle Tucker. I know he's been out right now. He's not on the IL, but he's missed the last week with a calf issue. 2 homers at Wrigley over the last 2.5 months. Where do you put Tucker on this list?
I would put can't disappear because he's playing for a contract too. He's not only playing for the Cubs and them getting back to the postseason. It's been a while for them in Wrigley. He's got other guys on the team, Pete Crow Armstrong, Dansby Swanson guys, Happ, that are good players. So I don't say he's got the weight of the world, but especially for himself personally, he needs to have a decent postseason he's going to get paid. Let's be honest. I'm just saying the difference maybe between getting that number up to 4 and 5 compared to, 200, which is still getting paid, but let's be honest.
Those are my favorite guys to follow in October. I'm like, we all know you got millions on the line.
Carlos Beltran, 2004, man, the greatest example ever.
Yeah, you can make millions and millions in a 3-week span. Christopher Sanchez having a ridiculous year, 3rd best starter ERA in the NL at 2.60. Obviously, big shoes to fill without Zach Wheeler there in the Phillies rotation. Where do you put Sanchez here?
Oh, weight of the world for me on this one because of what the Phillies they've been so close, right? And you get this news with Wheeler now. Yes, Trey Turner, they say, is going to be back for the postseason, but he'll have gone in without 3 weeks of at-bats at this point. Alec Boehm on the IL. So I think more than ever, man, they need Sanchez to step up there and be that horse, be that guy that can go game 1. Right now, it looks like they'll probably get that 2 seed, get a bye, and he'll be pitching that game 1. But he's got it heavy because of Wheeler being gone. He is that ace now, and those Philly fans want a championship, man. We know that.
They deserve one, which takes a lot for me to say because those are some clown fans. But I say that respectfully. I say that respectfully as a Clown fan myself. Tarek Skubal, he's probably in a similar spot as Sanchez, the ace on maybe a 2 seed in the American League, but he has to carry that rotation a lot more than Sanchez does in Philly. Your thoughts on Skubal there with Detroit heading into what would be their second straight postseason?
Yeah, way to the world for me. They can't lose games he starts. I just don't think they're deep enough, good enough. They're gonna, I mean, again, they're gonna be sitting pretty with either the 1 or 2 seed unless things go crazy. So they're gonna get a bye too. So you know you're gonna have him well rested for game 1. They just can't afford to lose his starts. He's too good, he's too valuable. And if they lose his start, not that they don't have arms and stuff, but they really put themselves behind the 8 ball if they lose game 1. So I think way to the world for him.
He's got to be like Bumgarner, basically. It's like, give us like 8 innings and then do it like 3 days later. That's how we're going to advance. And then
maybe do 5 innings in game 5, right?
Yeah, pitch 3 times in a 5-game series. That's probably what's going to have to happen, honestly, if we're being jokes aside here. Alex Bregman, the second to last guy on the list here. It's been a very interesting season for Breggy. He is slumping right now, about a 3-4 week slump going into an offseason like Kyle Tucker, where there could be a lot of money on the line. Where do you put Breggy here?
I'm going sitting pretty for him, man. I think he's going to re-up, go back into free agency. And, you know, with what he's done, the value he brings, Alex Cora has just bragged on his leadership in the clubhouse. He's in a small slump, but look, this guy is going to show up when it counts. We've seen it time and time again with the Astros. So I think Bregman's sitting pretty, man. He's got great young players around him that are going to continue. You got Garrett Crochet taking the ball the top of the rotation. So he's in a good spot.
Very interested to see how this postseason goes, and I'm going to cry if it's the only one with the Red Sox. Last guy on the list here, Juan Soto. He's not going to feel the pressure. We know that much. If it's October, he's ready to go. Where do you put Soto on the list?
Sitting pretty. And because you know what, Steve, no matter if he gets a hit or not in the postseason, he's got $765 million waiting for him. So for him, God bless him. You're sitting pretty, Juan Soto.
He could have the worst postseason ever. It's like, who cares? Producer Ryan's not going to.
I'll get him next year. I got 13 more years to get after this.
He's got so much time to win a World Series there, which for their fans' sake, I do hope they get one with Soto. Frenchie, you're the best. You guys can catch Francoeur on the call for Tigers and Yankees tonight with first pitch at 7 p.m. Eastern on TBS. Like I mentioned, Frenchie, this is always a blast, and looking forward to the next one.
Hey, good luck to your boys this weekend, man. Should be a fun one up in Beantown.
We'll see. A lot on the line. All right, take it easy.
Thanks, man. Steve. All right, bye.